Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are running through an 11 of some potential gems from around world football that your club should snap up. Goalkeeper, Fernando Pacheco. With Real Madrid having lost the same amount of league games as they did in the entirety of last season, and Barcelona double last year's tally, smaller teams have been able to take advantage in this year's La Liga. One of those sides is Deportivo Alaves. Having been playing in the Segunda Division just 3 years ago, they initially struggled to adapt, finishing 14th last campaign, just 3 points clear of 17th place Levante. But this year they find themselves in the unfamiliar position of 4th, 14 games into the season. With the side only averaging 3.5 shots on target per game, the third fewest in the league, their defence have had to pick up the slack, and so far they've conceded just 14 goals, a figure only bettered by 3 sides. Key to this has been the superb form of Real Madrid Academy graduate Fernando Pacheco. The former Spain under-21 is currently averaging 4.5 saves per 90 and 3.8 saves per goal. For context, during David De Gea's GOAT season in 17-18, he averaged 4.1 saves per goal, showing just how exceptional Pacheco's performances have been so far. With Courtois failing to cover himself in glory in his brief time at the Bernabeu, could Los Blancos utilise their buyback option on Pacheco? Well, stranger things have happened. Defender, Diego Palacios. 19-year-old Ecuadorian left-back Diego Palacios has risen to our attention this year with some superlative performances in the Eredivisie, on loan at Willem. Whilst a lot of credit for Willem's solid start to this season will go to their 26-year-old Spanish forward Fran Sol, who has got 12 goals to his name already, their 5'6" left-back deserves a lot of credit. His attacking prowess is clear, with 1.1 chances per game, just shy of Marcos Alonso's 1.2, and 1.2 successful crosses per 90, the same as City's Benjamin Mendy. But despite having 3 assists to his name in just 13 appearances, Palacios is far more than just an attacking fullback. He is currently averaging a massive 4.8 tackles and interceptions per 90, with only one player in Holland topping his 3.5 tackles a game. If Palacios keeps this incredible form up for the rest of the season, then his side SD UCAS can expect a long queue extending across Europe for his signature. Defender, Wallace. Players like Calabria, Skriniar and Koulibaly get enough airtime, so we thought we'd profile one of Italy's most underrated young centre-backs, Lazio's Wallace. The 24-year-old Brazilian has been a crucial component of their solid start to the year, which sees them sit in 5th place at the time of writing. He has bounced back from missing 16 league games last year through injury to become a mainstay alongside a Serbi at the heart of Simeone's Inzaghi's defence. An excellent reader of the game, he is averaging 2.8 tackles and interceptions a match, a Serie A high. The former Braga player is extremely confident with the ball at his feet, and only Lucas is averaging more than his 49 passes a game, which he marries with a very competent 87.1% pass accuracy. These aren't just sideways passes either, he completes an impressive 4.8 long balls a game, the same as Antonio Rudiger and more than Mats Hummels. Any club looking to develop a ball-playing centre-back with massive potential could do a lot worse than Wallace. Defender, Marlon Santos. 23-year-old centre-back Marlon Santos has just entered his 5th year as a professional footballer in a career that has already taken him to 4 different countries. He began his career in his native Brazil, winning a Primeira Liga with Fluminense before Barcelona decided to sign him on a season-long loan. The then 20-year-old's performances for the B-side were enough to persuade the hierarchy to fork out €5 million to sign him permanently. He spent 17-18 on loan at Nice before Vieira decided to cut short his loan spell. Now at Sassuolo, the 6-foot centre-back has set about showing the former Arsenal captain the error of his ways. The former Brazil under-20 international has been an almost ever-present in the side that sits 8th, just 4 points off 5th place Lazio. And although Santos is a perfectly able defender, churning out 3.6 tackles and interceptions per game, the second best in his squad, it's his ability on the ball that makes him truly stand out. Only 5 players in Italy can top his average of 66.7 passes a game, and only Borja Valero can top his 93.9% pass accuracy. We are sure plenty of clubs will be watching Santos' development with interest in the next 2 years. Defender, William. We head to Germany now, where Bruno Labbadia's Wolfsburg are setting about recovering from a disastrous 17-18 campaign in which they finished 16th, only surviving courtesy of a playoff victory over Holstein Kiel. They currently sit 9th, having already beaten Schalke, Bayer Leverkusen and RB Leipzig. A crucial component of their recovery has been an improvement in their defending. They have managed to drop their shots conceded a game from 13.6, the 6th worst in the league, to 11.1, the 4th best. Although undoubtedly a team effort, 23-year-old right-back William has proved himself to be one of Germany's best right-backs since joining from International ahead of the 17-18 season. The Olympic gold medal winner is churning out a ridiculous 5.1 tackles and interceptions per 90, whilst also creating 1.4 chances a game this season. And before people query whether these are the numbers of a one-season wonder, he has never averaged less than 5 tackles and interceptions per 90 in his 4 years of senior football. A defensive monster with a fantastic engine, William has a big future ahead of him, and your club should sign him now. Midfielder, Santiago Casarez. Villarreal may be through to the second round of the Europa League, but Javier Calleja's Chargers have only won 3 of their opening 14 La Liga games, and currently sit 17th, just 3 points ahead of the relegation zone. But one bright point of an otherwise disappointing start has been the form of 20-year-old Argentine defensive midfielder Santiago Casarez. Casarez emerged as a monster of a defensive midfielder with Vélez Sarsfield in 17-18, making 5.2 tackles and interceptions per 90, perking the interest of Atleti and Villarreal. Villarreal secured his signature for an initial €5.4 million, and with the departure of Rodri, the pressure was on Casarez to deliver. But so far he has risen to the challenge, and is making a massive 5 tackles and interceptions a game in La Liga. An average of 8 long balls completed a game in 3 Europa League matches, a figure only topped by 5 outfield players, and a 91.3% pass accuracy in the league, better than Busquets' 88.8, shows that he is far from a one-trick pony. Remember the name. If his start to life in Europe is anything to go by, Casarez has a big future. Midfielder, Valentin Rongier. Bringing a more well-rounded presence to our 3-man midfield is 23-year-old Frenchman Valentin Rongier. Rongier made his debut for his current club Nantes in October 2014, but it took until the start of the 16-17 season for the central midfielder to fully establish himself. That year he averaged a monumental 5.5 tackles and interceptions per game, helping the club to finish 7th place in the league. Despite his tender years, Rongier has already played under 7 managers, and his latest, former PSG and Lille boss Vahid Halaholic, appears to be attempting to change his game. He is now being pushed further forward, with 4 of his 13 Ligue 1 appearances this term coming as a number 10. This has led to an upturn in his attacking contribution, with the central midfielder now taking 2.2 shots a game and creating 1.8 chances per 90 for his teammates, both a squad high, despite the presence of Ligue 1's second top goalscorer Emiliano Sala. Tactically versatile and capable of developing different parts of his game, Rongier definitely has a big future ahead of him. Midfielder, Hakim Ziyech. An attacking midfielder capable of playing on either wing or through the middle, Ziyech has been involved in at least 18 league goals per season for the past 8 years. The former Netherlands under-21 international, who has now chosen to represent Morocco, is enjoying a stellar 18-19 campaign. 11 goal involvements in just 12 games, and his underlying statistics are frankly scary. 5.9 shots per game, the best in the division, 3.6 key passes a game, the best in the division, and 2.5 completed dribbles per 90, a figure only topped by 3 players. To put it simply, the man's on fire. The only question mark was over his ability to transform domestic form to the European stage. Last year, the 23-capped Moroccan struggled as Ajax failed to beat Nice or Rosenborg in the Champions League and Europa League playoffs. But this year, they've qualified second in their group, just 2 points behind Bayern Munich. And that's partly due to Ziyech, who's averaging 5.5 shots a game in the Champions League, only topped by Messi and Suarez. Ziyech has outgrown his club and the Eredivisie. Giants, what else has to be said? Go sign him. Forward, Callum Robinson. Unless you're a regular follower of the Championship, the chances are that you haven't heard of Callum Robinson. But such is the 23-year-old's form for Preston this season, which includes 9 goals and 2 assists in 18 second-tier games, it seems inevitable that you soon will. The 5'10" forward, who is capable of playing on the left or as a number 9, came through the academy at Aston Villa and made 4 Premier League appearances in the 2013-14 season. After 3 loan spells, including 2 at Preston, the Lily Whites jumped at the chance to make his move permanent in January 2016. Robinson hasn't looked back, with an average goal contribution every 0.3 games across his first 2 years. Now in his third, Robinson is averaging 1.7 key passes a game and 3.4 shots per match, the most in the division. These shot numbers are very impressive considering he's only played about 40% of his games as a left winger. Having switched to represent the Republic of Ireland from England in March, 4 international caps have followed. If Robinson keeps up this consistency, maybe he could be next year's James Maddison. Forward, Ousmane Dembele. Whilst things are going swimmingly on the pitch for Ousmane Dembele, with 9 goal involvement in 17 games for Barcelona this season, including 3 in his last 4 appearances, the rumbles of discontent continue off the pitch. Reportedly at loggerheads with his manager, a €20,000 fine to pay his landlord in Germany for leaving his house in a state, attitude issues and complaints from senior players, including Luis Suarez who told him to be more serious, Dembele's Blaugrana future is now in jeopardy. But at 21 and with an average of 0.6 goal contribution since his debut 5 years ago, surely whatever the hassle, Dembele is worth keeping hold of. If Barcelona let Dembele leave, even for close to his €105 million fee, it would be arguably the club's worst transfer decision since deciding to pay €15 million to sign Alexander Hleb in July 2008. Europe, though, will be watching in interest. Forward, Florian Thauvin. Since returning to Marseille from his ill-fated 6-month spell with Newcastle, which yielded no goals, no assists and only 3 Premier League starts, 25-year-old Florian Thauvin has been quite simply immense. 48 goals and 21 assists in 88 Ligue 1 games, an average of a goal contribution every 0.8 games compared to Eden Hazard's 0.6 in the same period, has earned him international respect, a place in a World Cup winning squad and recognition as one of Europe's hottest talents. This year he already has 15 goal involvements in 17 Ligue 1 and Europa League games. Whilst Payet may add the creativity in the Olympian squad, it's Thauvin who provides the cutting edge, having scored 38% of their league goals in 18-19. Thauvin is an expert at making space for his shots and is currently averaging 3.5 shots per 90 from his right wing position. Currently running at 0.9 goals per 90, better than Sergio Aguero, this seems like the perfect time for Thauvin to test himself abroad once again. I hope you guys have enjoyed that XI, and if we've missed anyone else, let us know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this, why not check out the video on screen, hit me up on my socials at ZachJellib on Instagram and Twitter, and as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.